Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of the Civil Canadians. I'm Scotty V. Now today I got a special guest with me today. It's good old King Kansas. How you doing, my friend?
Mr. Scotty V, the King is doing fabulous. You know, he's isolated in the movie bunker. I tell you, I have nothing else better to do than watch movies and pass the time like you. The question is, how are you doing, Mr. Scotty V?
You know, this whole coronavirus is keeping us at home. Gotta watch the movies, gotta play those video games, right?
Yeah, I noticed that you did a couple of videos on your show playing some Spider-Man again, I see.
Yeah, man, replaying that game. It's so much fun.
Man, you know me, I'm not really a big gamer, buddy, but it looks pretty damn cool. I'll give you that, you know?
Yeah. All right. So
I'm past the prime of playing video games myself. You know, the King's centuries old. You know that.
Oh, yeah,
right?
definitely.
I'll stick the movies there, you know, and driving people crazy.
All right. So what we're going to be talking about today, King Kansas, is the whole Xmen situation at Disney. Because Disney decided to put some new icons on their Disney Plus feature. And now everybody is losing their minds. Okay?
Okay.
So now we're going to talk about what this could mean for Disney Plus and Marvel Studios. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now, with this whole icon thing being added to Disney Plus, what do you think they will be doing? Will they be doing an animated show? Are they going to do live action shows? What do you think?
Right now, Scotty, I have no clue. I'm probably leaning towards something animated right now rather than something live action.
Right.
I think that you're not going to see nothing live action until at least another year or so.
Right. So you would be okay if they do something in the lines of the animated X-Men show they did back in the 90s, right?
I think so, Scotty, because it's been a while since we got anything X-Men animated on TV, and this is the perfect opportunity to introduce it on Disney Plus. Get all that, X-Men universe fan base aboard.
Right.
You can introduce your new characters through the animation route, and then from there, you can bring whatever characters you want and do a live-action thing. You can have spin-offs going off from that animated series, and you can build your X-Men universe, and then you can put your Wolverines and Sabretooths or Magnetos into the actual MCU to make things a little more interesting, moving forward in Phase 4 or 5.
Right. Now let's talk about your favorite X-Men, Gambit, right?
Yes, sir.
How would you feel if they decided to do a live-action TV show based on that character?
Oh, I love it. I'm not going to complain. Gambit, Mr. Remy LeBeau, his history with the Assassin's Guild and the thieves and stuff. Oh my God, he has one of the best origin stories there is that has been only lately touched even in the X-Men animated series. Did you ever watch that 1993 series there?
I did. I really enjoyed it.
He's my favorite, and then the Wolverine's but close second. But his storyline and then how he gets later involved with Rogue is phenomenal. It's a wicked thing to watch. I'd rather have a live action TV series than him actually in just a solo movie like we were planning with Mr. Channing Tatum or whatever, Mr. Magic Mike or whatever. No.
Yep. Would you want Channing Tatum to continue to be in that role?
Nope.
So you would have someone totally different, right?
Scotty, I would go with the guy who was in X-Men Wolverine Origins, whatever the hell that Taylor Kitsch. I liked him as Gambit. I think he was probably one of the better parts of the film, even though he was in it for so little. He had the charm of the Ragin Cajun.
Right.
To tell you the truth, he has that look, and I would love him to, pick up the mantle again and play Mr. Gambit himself.
Right, and I agree with you because he did a great job in that film. The problem is he was underused. That was the only issue.
Exactly, and overall the movie sucked.
Yeah, X-Men Origins was not the greatest film of the whole X-Men franchise, right? Some people like it as their guilty pleasure, but for me personally and for yourself, we don't like that movie.
No, I love the special effects with Gambit in it, though, with the card tricks and whatever, that you seen the way the cards were moving and flowing through the film. That was kind of cool.
Right.
But everything else surrounding Gambit it was just stupid.
So with the Gambit thing, you're on board if they ever decide to do a Gambit show, because
hell yeah.
Gambit is not really mainstream X-Men like Wolverine, Cyclops, and all those guys, right?
You can almost say he's like almost a secondary character, but I would say he's probably one of the prime ones, Scotty, because he was on the. If you ever follow the comic books, he was on. Because you know how the X-Men had X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue.
Right. Yeah.
He was on the blue team.
Got you.
Right, so he was like not like the top tier. Because when you think of the X-Men, you think Wolverine, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, Iceman.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's kind of like where Rogue fit in. And Wolverine joined the team later, right? So you get the secondary Nightcrawler and all those guys. So he kind of bunches in with those guys, right?
Right. It was a little bit disappointing that we didn't get to see Gambit earlier into the films, right? Like in the earlier X-Men movies, right?
Yeah, in the Fox films, yeah. So I agree with you.
We could have had him at least in X-Men 2 when they were doing the whole mutant rights situation, right?
Yes, they could have introduced him then.
But hey, what are you gonna do? But as long as they plan and do it smart on Disney Plus, everybody would be on board, including you, right? So
yeah, and Scotty, and now you have the perfect opportunity that you can introduce him for the first time the right way in the MCU, even.
Exactly.
And then from when you do introduce, he has his little cameo or his little part of a MCU film, whatever it happens to be. Then you can spin it off and do a TV series to kind of really deep or dive into his origin, story.
Right. Well. It's going to be very interesting to see what Disney is going to do, or Marvel Studios is going to do with that character.
I'm dying at the bit. I can't wait for them to do Gambit and do Gambit properly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get it. Like I said, I almost died. Almost as bad as when I waited 10 plus years to get that first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
Right.
Back in the day, 2000.
Right. Now, let's talk about live action shows not based around the mainstream X-Men characters, like the show Gifted. Remember Gifted?
Yes.
And
that was a good show until they canceled it. I'm not going to say it was the greatest, but it was good. I liked it.
Now, would you want Disney or Marvel Studios to do something like that? Not focus on the main X-Men, just focus on third, fourth characters, right? Like
generation characters that are not known or whatever?
Right, but still reference the main X-Men like how they did in the Fox show.
Like in Gifted, you'll have some sort of connection, like, that this could be Magneto's daughter, but you don't really know kind of thing.
Exactly. So would you be...
that kind of angle?
Would you be fine with that?
Oh, yeah. Scotty, it's all about how you tell the story and the actors, how they're going to portray the characters they're, going to be, I guess you're trying to believe them being as,
Right. So now, this is the question I'm going to probably get on everybody's nerves. Now... would you... I know my answer, and I'm probably sure I know what your answer is. Would you take a risk in introducing Logan or Cyclops or Magneto, any of the main characters? Would you take that risk?
In the TV series?
In the Disney Plus? Because Kevin Feige stated that any characters in the TV show will cross over to the movies and vice versa, right? Now, would you think they'll take that risk?
Okay, so you said what? Like any of the main guys to be introduced on a TV series first, rather than the movies?
Yeah, would you take that risk?
Oh, yeah. Of course I will.
Yeah, especially on Wolverine?
I know, yeah, definitely. This is the time to introduce Wolverine, and this is a perfect way to introduce him, quickly, effectively, and smart. And anything with Kevin Feige, Scotty, that man is like God, in a sense. He cannot do no wrong, and when he has his hands in the cookie jar, as they say, shit's going to turn out good.
Oh, definitely, because he knows what works and what doesn't, right?
And not only that, Scotty, you get a chance for the fan base to kind of get used to who you have as Wolverine or Logan. To go from Hugh Jackman to someone else, they're going to feel the heat. Whatever actor they choose, whether it's my pick of Scott Eastwood or whoever you decide that you think is going to play the next Wolverine or whatever.
Right.
And it better not be Henry Cavill bullshit, because, me, that's not flying, because, he's Superman in my books, right?
Right. Oh, no, I agree.
As long as they do the role justice, I'm cool with it. And like I said, you got Kevin Feige, with his hands in the cookie jar and everything. I would take the risk. I would personally do so. The time is now, so at least you kind of feed the hunger for the people who want that X-Men to show up right away in the MCU. You can slowly introduce them and filter them through the MCU this way, and then they can hit the main movie universe there
right.
full force after that,
Right.
They feel more of an impact, right, because there's a history behind it.
Right. So with Storm, a lot of people want Storm to show up in Black Panther 2 because, Storm and T'Challa had a relationship and they were married at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
So would they do something like that, bring her into the Black Panther movie first and then maybe do a spin-off for her in the future?
You know what? They'll probably introduce her. That's a good way to introduce her into, the MCU, but it's too early because, Black Panther and Storm didn't get together for a little bit later, right? I think you still have to bring out a second movie out first.
Right.
Maybe you introduce her into a third movie.
Right.
Like, the third Black Panther movie down the road.
Right.
That's when it'll kind of make sense to kind of vibe with when you're going to, I guess, introduce certain X-Men characters into the MCU, because you can introduce them in different series like Doctor Strange, Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then they can gather together to form an X-Men team.
Right.
So it's kind of like a Justice League, how the heroes, they formed the Avengers for the Marvel. You had the individual movies, but you'll have the individual X-Men in different movies, and then they'll gather together to form this super team called the X-Men. And that's when you can get Professor X to come aboard and kind of gather all the X-Men throughout the whole entire MCU to form a team and move forward,
So basically, you would want Xavier to do what Nick Fury did with the Avengers, basically.
Exactly, but with the X-Men.
Gotcha.
And that gives you, Scotty, 3 or 4 years to do that. So you're basically building up the hype for an X-Men team. So when they do get together, you give it a rat's butt about every single member on that team. It's not just like, here you go, let's put all the X-Men that you got to care about them.
Right.
Right? So you can build a universe within a universe, in a sense.
Exactly.
And that it's relevant and it matters, right?
Right. Or what they can do is the mutants were always there, or they can just take it from that storyline where Professor X wiped out everyone's memory for the mutants. Right?
Yeah, you can do it.
Because let's say maybe 18 months ago, the Marvel didn't have the rights to the X-Men. They're still processing, right? So legally, they couldn't really say mutants, X-Gene. They couldn't really say anything like that, right?
Nope.
So, and now that Marvel has the rights to them, everybody's asking, where the hell are the X-Men, right? And I think through these Disney Plus shows would be a perfect way to introduce them slowly. Even in the Eternals movies, if they some sort of way mention the X-Gene, and then thousands of years later, we see it evolve to what it is now, right? So, I think the Disney Plus... I think the Disney Plus shows would be the perfect way to slowly introduce them, right? Just like how Marvel did Phase 1 with Captain America, Iron Man, slowly bring them in, and then when there's some major event happening, they can bring in all the X-Men together, or Professor X, like you said, can slowly recruit them and say, hey, there's a big threat coming, and only we can take care of it, and stuff like that.
It's true, Scotty, because not only that, Kevin Feige can then peel the layers of the history of the MCU from day one. You can go back and revisit certain events, like you were saying, refilm it, and kind of introduce, like, oh, by the way, there was an X-Men character on the left side. You didn't see it, but this is the story from this event, and you can kind of get the history to kind of, like, be built from way back then. So when you do introduce them full force, you have the back history tied to the MCU, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, just because we didn't show you it doesn't mean it didn't occur at the same time that all this other crap was going on.
Exactly.
Right? You can have big events going on in different places at different time, or same time, but you're not going to always be there to catch all the history as it goes, kind of thing. You're going to discover things later here and there, so there might be little clues and nuggets, throughout these series, like you're saying, through Disney Plus, that you can throw there, and then whatever hits, and then you can, when they do arrive in the MCU, you're going to be able to say, oh, yeah, that makes sense now. Not kind of like with that stupidness they had with that Star Wars crap, that they tried to fit too much, and they were trying to, like, go back, and then, oh, by the way, this is what was said. No, we don't need a mess like that. Trust me. There's someone smart at the helm of everything, right? So if Feige knows what he's doing, that's a good possibility, my friend.
Yeah.
So do it that way, safer.
Yeah.
And smarter.
Or they can do something dumb and say, hey, maybe the blimp caused them to restore their powers.
That's too easy, Scotty. That's like a cop-out in my books, and I think Feige knows it too. Like, well, you could say the snap brought mutants back or created mutants,
Yeah, but no, that's such a, like you said, cop-out, and it's more better if they dive into the history, like in the Eternals movie or some stuff like that, right?
That's the thing, and that's the Eternals movie can be kind of like maybe an older origin, because the Eternals are centuries old, right? So you can have hey, there is mutants. You guys just didn't realize it. And then at the end of the movie, you might have some discovery of, there's one guy, like kind of like the X-Files. They were there, but until you discover or look for them, you're not going to find them.
Right.
So
Yep.
that's a good possibility. And with space too, there's so many like endless ways you can introduce them, and smartly too, and to make it more relevant now, right? Because a lot of the X-Men stories are like, with the Holocaust and all that stuff that happened back then. How are you going to introduce that now?
Right. You can't.
No. So you're going to have to be a little bit more creative. You might borrow, like some of the ideas from here and there, but you're going to have to tweak their origins in a major way, right? But that's why Kevin Feige doesn't want to rush and just go, you're the X-Men, let's just throw them in. We have them now, let's throw them in.
Right.
It's the right time for everything, right? Pull the trigger and introduce big characters like the X-Men.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got for you today and for our lovely fans. So now, King, where can they find you on YouTube land?
On YouTube land, well, Scotty, if everybody noticed that I haven't been there on the set with you having fun, talking comic books and movies, well, you can find me on the Movie Throne YouTube channel.
Yep.
You can just put hashtag YouTube and find me there. You can go to an Instagram page, the Movie Throne, and there's a link that you can click there and watch.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find movie reviews there, the fun, the usual. My podcast, that's not for kids, so you better not let your kids listen to it, Scotty, because they're going to need major earplugs, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
And if you guys are into figure collecting, like Transformers and all that crap, so everybody knows, Scotty, that I'm a Transformer fan, right?
Yes, sir.
They can check me on the King's Collection Vault on YouTube. So, and of course, I'll pop my head once in a while here to make sure that you're not burning down the place there, Scotty.
No, don't worry, it won't be.
we don't need no Titanic situation, because you're the captain of the Titanic. I'm the captain of a tugboat trying to become a battleship.
Yep.
So we can actually go into war together, kind of thing, right? Yep. So that's where you'll find me.
All right.
Talking about movies and stuff.
Perfect. So if you go into our featured channels, you'll find all his channels in the featured tab. So like this, you don't have to search it up. You can just see it's there, right? So
that's right.
So it'll all be easier for you guys to see there. All right, guys. So that's it for this week. If you guys like this video, make sure you hit a like and share it all around. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Do check out the King's Movie Vault channel and his podcasts. All right, guys. See you soon. Be good. Stay safe. See you next time.
Take it easy, guys.